All right. Sitting around here, and the kid went to sleep for a little while. Thought I'd come on here and go live for a little bit and see if anybody was up. See what's going on. See if any of y'all's been fishing. How you been doing, or not showing anyone on so far. I know the fish here started to come up to the top some, a few of them, but we got a lot of rain and stuff supposed to be coming this way. It's supposed to get here today, but it was kind of mostly scattered showers. Now, tomorrow, probably more rain coming in and then rain for the next couple of days. Then cold weather. Maybe it won't mess the fishing up too bad. Anybody out there been getting any fishing in lately? Or see, we got 6 in here now. Now it's 7. Got to have something to chat about here. I didn't schedule a live. I just sitting around, and Nadine decided to get her a nap. So I said I'd go and see if anybody up. 2 hands working. Sure would like to have a mess of fish. Yeah, I caught a nice mess day before yesterday. Went down there and tried them on top some with the beetle spin. Caught a good mess and uh, gave most of them to the guy I know. I kept like 4 or 5, and the wife fried them up and kept 2 of the crappie, and she filleted them things up and filleted some boneless strips off of them. Man, them things was good. Tanner Simmons, what is the best depth for catfish? Uh, I'm not sure right now. I know some of them are making their way up shallower. I still catching. Well, the last time I tried them, I was still catching some down in the deep holes where I was fishing when the weather was still so cold here. But when I was trying for smallmouth the last time fishing up near the bank, uh, I hooked a couple that I know had to be catfish on the rod and reel with the earthworm because they left and popped the line. I figured it's probably flatheads that is making their way up into the shallows and eating them smaller brim and smallmouth redbreast and stuff. Rattle trap fishing. Hey, buddy. Hey there, rattle trap. I've been looking for you on there the last couple of times I've been on thing and hadn't seen you on in a while. I've been hoping you was doing all right. I started to message you today to see how you been doing. Hopes everything been going good. 2 hands working. I started me a big red worm bed a couple of days ago, so hopefully soon. Yeah, I hope you good luck with them. I ain't never had too much luck with raising the worms myself. Um, but I may have been using the wrong soil and stuff. I ain't never known exactly what to mix and how to mix it right. But I know some people. There's a lady in Lambertown, and they say she's got all kind of worm beds and stuff that she has lots of worms. She raises them. 351. Say that, Mr. Cleveland. Glad to see you on here tonight, man. Yeah, I didn't schedule for tonight or nothing. I just decided to go live, and I didn't know who and all would be up and who and all would, be on here. But it's good to see y'all, and just wanted to check in with you and see how y'all been doing and keep in touch and see what y'all been doing with the fish also. It's getting about that time of the year. Fishing should be picking up all over the place, especially around in the south. And two-hand fishing, have you ever grown them up? If you're talking about with driving the pole down in the ground and beating on the pole, I haven't, never did the worms like that. I know people that said they've done it and it worked, but most time I either dig my worms or take a grubbing hoe and just rake the back top of the dirt off at some places. In some places they just an inch or two under the ground. But if the weather's right around here, if it's too wet, worms are hard to find, and if it's too dry, they're hard to find. You can find here just certain times of the year that you can really get into the earthworms, get the earthworms dug up. Tanner Simmons, do you ever fish saltwater? I ain't never fished saltwater much, Mr. Simmons. I fished a time or two. Me and my one of my older brothers, he had passed away a couple of years ago. Me and him used to fish the saltwater a little bit, but we'd mostly fish it in the evenings, and we'd catch a few croakers and stuff like that. I ain't never fished saltwater a whole lot, but we would fish in the evenings waiting on dark to flounder gig, and we would gig the flounder once it got dark. But I ain't never did a lot of saltwater fishing. Mr. Cleveland, you been catching anything, or anybody else out there? Y'all been doing any good with the fish? I know the fishing should be picking up different places and stuff with the weather warming up, and then maybe like it is here, it started to warm up, and then cold weather come back in. Now we got a lot of rain coming, but we don't get too much. I can still go to the Tidewater down there and catch them in the Tidewater. In Cleveland, lately, by the time I get off at 5 p.m., my bank spots are already taken. Oh, okay. Mr. Cleveland, sometime during the summer here, the fish get to biting good and the weather's right and all. If you can get time one day to come down this way, get down here, we'll go down there and we'll take a trip to the river down there and do some fishing down there. Yeah, I've been waiting on this warm weather to get you in, the water to start warming up, and then fish start getting up top where I can fish many different ways. During the cold months, the best way to catch them here is with the worm on the bottom, fishing down in them deep holes, catching them on mouth. When that weather warms up, though, you can fish the beetle spin or the brim buster, or a lot of different ways to catch them then. And gas keeps going up. I'm gonna have to just start running my electric motor, man. It's getting ridiculous. My motor don't burn a whole lot of gas, but geez, price of gas is going through the roof. I had to start making e-boats, or just run off the battery all the time. Kenneth Davis, I'm looking to get back to fishing one day. Hope and pray very soon. Yeah, Mr. Davis, hope you can get out there and get to do some, man, and enjoy it some. And if you can get out there sometime on the good days, just relax. And I just like to go down there sometime, and especially during the summer when it warms up, I'll pull up in the shade somewhere and kick back, and I'll just throw the earthworm out in the middle of the river, try to find where the brim is, and I'll just sit back and relax and try to enjoy instead of getting out there working so hard with the electric motor, trying to hold the boat and all that to catch fish. I'll kick back and relax. But hope you can get back out there and get to doing some fishing. Two men working there, sure, and then that low 20s here this weekend. I guess it will shut them down for a few days. Yeah, it'll shut them down for a little while. If we don't have too cold of weather for too long, it won't affect them very much or for very long. But here we got this fresh rain coming in, so this could cool the water off, and that cold temperature that go along with that fresh water, it'll affect them Black River down there. With the Tidewater, it'll affect them here, but not as much as it will up above from Reds on up, that where it's not Tidewater at. The least little difference in the change of weather or rain or anything, it affects them more up that way. That Tidewater, the river's deeper and everything, so it can take more fresh water and stuff and all that without affecting the fish as bad. But I have been down there at that Tidewater, and well, y'all's probably seen some of the videos, and the water be out there in the woods over the banks. But I could get up in them places that was deep, but out the running water and still catch fish. Kenneth Davis, thank you very much. I really enjoy your videos. Greg Fisher. I'm glad you enjoy them, man. I get out there and I enjoy making them, and appreciate y'all watching them and keeping up with the channel. I try to mention the stuff I'm fishing with and show you all the things that I do. And if there's young people out there watching, and some of them can maybe see new ways to fish, new ways or different ways to do things. Just some of the ways that I know. But there's so many different ways to fish. So many different people do things different. And always different techniques and different things to learn. You're always learning. Sometimes I just try different colors, see what colors they're biting. Do you use live scope? No, I don't have a live scope or depth finder or anything like that. A lot of time I work the fish, try different techniques, different depths, different things, trying to find the fish. I've been working on my Genu lately. Might have to build a steam engine to power if the gas keeps going up. I think I'm going a couple miles from Oconee River here in middle Georgia. Yeah, this gas is going up, man. It's something else. Or side imaging. No, I don't have the side imaging or anything like that, or depth finder, side imaging, or none of that. I just use the techniques or something I've learned over the years and try to find where the fish are. But I'll go in and out from the bank and try different depths until I kind of find out what depth they're hanging at, or if I'm throwing the beetle spin. Sometimes I'll upgrade on the blades or downgrade according to how hard the water's running. And I'll try reeling it slower, let it sink deeper, or different size jig heads to make it sink faster where to be deeper down. Just different things trying to till I can try to figure the fish out. Terry Christmas, you ever fish little PD? No, I had never fished little PD, but one of my fishing partners that I fish with sometime, he's fished PD a lot, and I'm gonna get with him some this year and fish PD. And it's a place up the road here called WT. We supposed to get up there and fish WT some and Santee River and get out and do a little bit more fishing different places this year. Yeah, he's fished a lot of them, and he knows places to put in at and places to go, and me and him will get together, make some videos and stuff. Well, favorite jig color. I like the green and chartreuse, or one of them's turning into my favorites right now is the black with the chartreuse tail. Mr. Ricky had brought me some last year to try, and that's what I was using the other day when I was catching the crappie. I like it, but as far as throwing the beetle spin, one of them that I started off catching fish with many years ago when I first started learning to fish that beetle spin pretty good was that white beetle spin with the red dot. It's still my all around go-to when I'm fishing the beetle spin. But I try different colors a lot of times and different things, switch jig heads and stuff, different color jig head. But that white beetle spin with that red dot, it's always been one of my favorites and one of my go-tos. When I've caught them on it when I couldn't hardly get them to hit anything else, I could still manage to catch a few fish on it. Good evening, Bluegrass State. Good evening to you. Glad you tuned in, come in here and sitting with us and chatting. I notice you catch a lot on the green beetle spin. Yeah, green beetle spin works, yellow one works, and there's a lot of colors I've caught different fish on. But like anybody else, you got certain colors that you like or that you prefer. But still, I'll try different colors, new colors, and I'll try new jigs, swirl tail jigs, paddle tail jigs, different things. There's so many different things out there you can fish with that it's always something different to experiment with. It gives you something to do to keep from catching them the same old way. A575. I caught some grown ones out of little PD. Yeah, I've heard they got some grown ones in there, especially big shell crackers and big crappie and stuff, and big catfish also. William Thigpen, enjoy your videos. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Thigpen. I'm glad y'all enjoy. I'm glad enjoy making them for y'all, getting out there doing the videos. Bill Royals, hello, Mr. Junior. I finally caught you on live. Been enjoying those videos. Thanks, Mr. Royals. Glad you enjoy them. And Mr. Royals, one of them, a lot of the jigs and stuff that I fish with sometime, the different colors and stuff. Mr. Royals had sent me a while back. I did a video maybe a little over a year ago, some of the stuff, and he sent so many different color jigs that I still using some of his, and sometime when I go, I still trying different ones that he had sent. Mr. Williams, I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he'd sent me some jigs and stuff, and I still use some of his, and I ain't got through all of his and yet to try, but maybe this year I can get around all of them. Any history on the landing and artesian well? That landing, that's the one with the flowing well there. That's a pine tree landing. That landing has been there long before I was born. It was a dirt road back when I used to go to it. It was a dirt road that went down through a hunting club. And a a lot of times when it rained, it got boggy. Sometimes you'd have to have a 4-wheel drive to get down there to it to unload. But it's I can remember when it was just a dirt road myself, but it had been there for good many years. The actual landing used to be to the left of where they got the landing at now. They got the landing kind of straight when you right before you get to it, but it used to have to go to the left, and then the landing was over there to the left of where the new landing is, what they built. But they got a gate up now because somebody owns the property and stuff over there. 351 Cleveland. As you come in, be sure to smack that. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up if you will there. And it helps with the channel, helps the channel grow, lets YouTube know that people enjoy it and stuff. Anytime you're watching the videos, try to hit that thumbs up if you enjoy the videos and stuff. When I got a video out, it lets YouTube know that people's enjoying them, and they'll put them out more. Casita Walker, Cosman, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Thanks for coming in, Casita. Doing good there. This pollen's about to get with me. It's got my sinuses and stuff so messed up. My head stopped up. Voice is rattly. Paul, do 64. Enjoy your videos, fishing, love your boat. I had 2 bug busters, and mine was a favorite boat to fish out of. Yeah, I like the old bug buster. It's a good fishing boat. Ain't a whole lot of room for catfishing. You get them big rods in there, but as far as brim fishing and stuff, it's great. I love it. Local Life Outdoors. Hey, Junior and everyone in chat. Glad you tuned in on Local Life. Good to see you on here, man. Hope you've been doing good. And there's a PD fisherman right there, Local Life Outdoors. He does some PD fishing. Marion Boyd, love watching you fish. I'm from Harleyville. I fish the Edisto River. Would love for you to join me. God bless and keep your poles wet. Yeah, glad you tuned in, Mr. Boyd. I've heard of the Edisto there. One of my subscribers, and he's one of my friends now, and he comes and he hangs out here sometime. Me and him will talk, and we've fished together a time or two, and he's fished up there on the Edisto and stuff. I think he's from up around Beaufort, and he enjoys fishing Black River too. Local Life Outdoors, thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, man, if y'all get a chance, hit that thumbs up, and helps the channel out. 2 hands working. Hello, Local Life. Local Life. Hey there, 2 hands. Elwood Anderson. Right on, Eric. Yeah. Local Life Outdoors fixing to get ready. Steady on the fishing. Yeah, it's coming. This weather don't get too bad down here. I don't know about up y'all's way, how much rain and stuff y'all might get Local Life on. And if it don't stay cold for too long, the cold weather won't affect them that much if it don't stay real cold for a long period of days. But this rain to go with that cold weather, it'll mess with them, and especially in the upper part of the river here. I may have to do some more videos on the bottom down there in the Tidewater to keep getting some videos out and wait on the water to warm back up. We just have to see. But yeah, I'm ready for them to get back up on that top and ready to get out and throw the brim buster some, catch them with the cricket and see that cork go under and stuff. I still like to fish that way also. So many different ways to fish here in the summertime. And turkey season's coming up. Turkey tags come in the other day. So get ready for that too. So if it messes the river up, once the turkey season opens, and have something else I can get out there and do for a while. Yeah, Local Life, water's still a little cool. I'd called a good mess up the other day. I mean, they're starting to make their way up good. But it's coming though. As soon as we can It'll stay warm like it was for a while. They'll be back to biting. They'll be coming up good. And the crappie will had eggs in them too. I know they're supposed to be spawning and getting ready for the spawn this time of the year. And I think 3 of the crappie that I caught uh, had eggs in them. The eggs are good size too. They're starting to get kind of big with the eggs. So the crappie was ready. I just hope this weather don't mess it up too bad. But we need the rain though. I'm telling you, hold this pollen down especially. A575 fish Black River in Curry, North Carolina. Yeah, I've heard of the Black River up in North Carolina. I think it's a different Black River than what we have here. But yeah, I've heard people fishing in the Black River up there. Yeah, our Black River here runs up Sumter way, goes up and turns into Black River Swamp up at Sumter. But when it rains, if it rains all up around Columbia and all them places up there, all that water's got to drain down out them mountains, out them hills and stuff, and then through them valleys and run off into drainages and stuff. And all that water's got to go somewhere. So it has to drain into a river system somewhere and go back out into the ocean. And I think the PD and the Walker runs on up into North Carolina, I think. One of them runs a good ways up into North Carolina. I forgot whether it was the PD or the Walker, but one of them runs a long ways. I saw over 50 on dirt roads coming back my yard when I got home. That's the most I've seen in a long time. Local, that was some big slabs, Junior. Yeah, them was some big crappie. I mean, there's big slab crappie. I mean, nice ones. I keep picking up crappie. Well, last year I would, because during the crappie time, the weather was messed up then last year. I caught some nice crappie during the summer, but I only catch 1, even 2 on a trip, and sometimes none. But that was the most crappie that I caught at one time in a while. And I mean, they were some slabs, and I ain't joking. They were some heavy crappie. Yeah, working hands. If you're talking about the turkeys, yeah, that turkeys around here, turkey population seems to be doing good in my area. Some of the other areas I'm not sure of. I know the state cut us back to where I'm at here to, I think, 3 tags. You can see the Walker. I have a friend that worked with me and told me to go to King Street, South Carolina. Yeah, Black River runs from here. It runs up through King Street and turns into Black River Swamp up at Sumter up there. I think it's 378. 378, Highway 378, I believe. Black River turns into Black River Swamp up in that area. But yeah, from here to King Street, all up through there is good fishing. There's just not a lot of places in between here and King Street. Only so many boat landings. Only so many places you can put a boat in. But I mostly fish the local area here near where I live. I have Tidewater that I can put in about 3 miles up the road from the house. And if I go to the left, I can put in a Tidewater. And if I go to the right, either way I go, it's about 3 miles to them landings near me. That one place I can fish Tidewater, the other place I can fish non-Tidewater, where the Tidewater stops working at. Paul Kipps, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that uses a beetle spin. Keep up the good videos. Thanks, Mr. Kipps. Yeah, I love to use beetle spin, man. And beetle spins, you don't never know what you're going to catch. What's on the other end. I see some channels, they'll target certain species sometime when they go out, but I'll target whatever's biting. If I go for sunfish, I consider all of them sunfish. I ain't just target crappie or something. I might target them, but I'll take whatever bites. I might go for brim, but if crappie gets on there, I'll take him too. It's whatever's biting. I enjoy catching all of them. Only thing gets me sometimes is them mudfish. If I'm trying to catfish or if I'm brim fishing, them mudfish get on there. Them mudfish will tear your stuff up. Local life, I have coyotes bad around me. They keep the turkeys thinned out. They fight in the backyard. Yeah, them coyotes are something else, man. I got one here. I got a deer camera I put in the backyard here, just to see what was back there. I got red fox on there, and he's pretty. But I got also a coyote on there, and he's coming right behind the house here in the backyard there. So them coyotes are everywhere at the hunting club out there. They all over the place. And one of the videos I was doing this year, I was sitting there one morning and 2 coyotes come out, and then the next morning a different coyote come out. I think it was a different one on the other side of me, different place. A friend of mine said that they cut them back to 2 here, but I'm not sure. I don't hunt them. Yeah, I go some. I ain't as much on it as I am deer, but I haven't been in a couple of years. But I enjoy seeing them strut, see them gobblers strut, calling them in especially. Junior, I'm coming to see you when the water gets right. Yeah, local life, man. Yeah, when that water gets right and the fish get to biting good and this weather ain't keep messing with them, yeah, we get together and do a trip, man. Yeah, I just hate for you to come and the weather doing like it is right now. But as soon as it gets the weather's kind of leveled out, and I know that the fish are going to steady be biting, that we get together and do a trip there. I just want to be sure that they're doing good and everything. But this weather does this around here pretty much every year. It'll turn warm for a while, stuff will start blooming and everything, and I always know that another cold snap's coming. Isaiah Barr says, thank you, Daddy. 2 hands working the hunting club around me caught 70 plus coyotes last year. Wow, that is a lot. I didn't hear as many this year as what I heard last year. Last year they was howling everywhere. It's early in the mornings, right before daylight, right at crack of daylight. But this year I didn't hear as many howling. So they must have thinned some of them out there at our club. But they still a good many out there though. Local life sounds good. Yeah, man. Yeah, just as soon as the weather gets, where it's leveled off, where them fish will be doing good. Especially when it gets over here in April. April, it picks up real good. But this month in, the weather's back and forth. But then sometimes the first couple of weeks in April, you might have some cold snaps. But usually by that, from the middle of April on, some good fishing then. Usually it stays warm enough that everything's blooming out and blossoming. Do you catch any white or yellow perch in the river? I ain't caught no white perch in years. We used to catch them casting out. We always call them Virginia perch. We used to catch them casting out with the earthworms out in the middle. But the yellow perch, I keep catching some of them sometime, but not a lot of them. It used to be you could get them yellow perch with some crickets with the throw line sometime, and you could sit there and catch pretty much a limit of your fish. But a lot of them wouldn't be that big here. But sometime on that beetle spin, though, I'll pick up one here and one there. Sometimes they good size yellow perch. Local life usually watches the dogwood tree. Yeah, when them dogwoods and all that starts blooming out, it's time for the fish then up top. Be doing good. Terry Christmas time to start with the garden too. Yeah, it's getting over that time. Around here, most of the people usually plant around Good Friday. Usually use Good Friday for the time to do the gardens and stuff here. What a lot of them. But then sometime you plant on Good Friday and you'll still may have a frost in April after Good Friday. I've seen that happen before. I remember one year, it was probably 15 years ago, all the farmers around here had planted their field. Fields are planted everywhere in corn. Corn was up about 6 inches or so. And it was getting over there in the April pretty good. And a hard frost hit. And it messed up a lot of the farmers' crops. They had to dis under and replant. And Bill Royce, Mr. Junior, does the water try to run over the back of your boat if you try to stop real fast? Yeah, if I back off too fast on it, that wake that catches up to the boat behind it, it'll come over into the back of the boat, it'll dip water in. Then the front end will come down and the back end will pick up. But yeah, if I slow down too fast, it'll dip water in the back, Mr. Royal. Yeah, that bug buster will do the same thing. If I stop too fast with it, that water will come in the back. It'll dip some in, but then the back will pick up on it once that wake in the back catches up to the boat. Yeah, also if you're hitting sharp curves or something over with it, you have to kind of slow it down sometimes because getting into them curves, it'll want to slide from one side to the curve to the other. Except that flat bottom on that boat, it'll just slide when you're turning, slide across the water. A lot of time I have to trim it down when I get in the curve, then get around the curve. Then I can kind of, if I want to jack it back up, I can jack it back up and get my speed on back up. Two ends working. I have 3 rows of blue baked green beans, 2 inches high. I've got to cover. Luckily, the rows are only 25 foot. Yeah, I've had to get out there and do that before. And over in April, I had to get out there and put stuff over tomato plants or something like that to try to save the frost from killing them before. Have the crappie started spawning there yet? It will be about another month here in Southern Virginia. The crappie I caught the other day, like I was saying, there was 3 or 4 of them. The eggs was pretty good size in them. So they if they up now getting ready for the spawn because they had some good size eggs and some of the ones I brought home. I give most of them to the guy that I'd promised some fish to, but I cleaned them here and all that before I took them to him. He's kind of an older fella, but when I cleaned them, they had some big sets of eggs in them. So I don't know if the crappie spawned by that moon or not, but I think the moon's growing, I believe. But by the end of this month, they should be up spawning real good. That's because you're going fast getting to good fishing holes, Junior. Sometime I'll be in a hurry to get to them. Some of these curves down here in Black River, they real sharp. And then I got that 40 on there, and it'll push it fast enough, it'll slide across the water. A lot of time I just run half throttle, especially the way this gas is. You can't afford to run it flat out. You run it flat out, it'd be drinking some gas. Then you run along half throttle, you can save on some gas. I can't afford to be holding it to it right now. Gas comes down, I might can hold it to it a little bit more. It gets too expensive, I'm gonna have to just start idling or using the electric motor to get where I want to go to and come back. Mr. Rolls, that Falcon had a 7-inch jack plate built in, and that made it dip water bad. Yeah, my brother's got a fast craft, and he did have a jack plate on hit at one time, and that jack plate would catch the water somehow or another and pull it whenever he slowed down to let it sit back down in the water. Somehow or another it was catching the water and pulling the water over into the boat. Local, I know what you mean, Junior. It costs to go fishing right now. Yeah, it does. I ain't joking, man. Everything going up. Food, groceries. I believe Mr. Royals, when he was here visiting, and I was talking with Mr. Royals, I believe Mr. Royals was telling me about he was coming through somewhere or another and run across the Gator. And the Gator went through the water so fast he run up on the hill and run through the woods after that prop run across his back. Yeah, I passed one last year. I had Cole with me. Gator was swimming across, and I went by him. I couldn't see him. Cole said we went right by that Gator. He said he looked down, he could see him right up under the water. He said we almost hit him. Paul Kids, 425 a gallon here. I feel your pain. Yeah, I went through town yesterday and hit a few days ago. It was below $4, and yesterday when I went through town, it had jumped to $4.13. And I didn't pay no attention today to see what it was at. It may be up around $4.25 or something here, but I know it jumped to $4.13 here yesterday at some of the stations that I looked at. But we have to make do with it and just do what we can do, save where we can. My little truck, it don't burn so much. It got a small 4-cylinder in it. But now the wifey car, it got 5.7 Hemi in it. And it had to be kind of light on the gas with it. You can't give it too much gas when you're taking off or starting it. You'll be pulling at the gas station all the time. Armstrong, I spent $5.29 on diesel today and almost teared up. Yeah, man, it hurts to pull in the gas station. Bill Royals, that Gator didn't like it at all when that motor crossed across his back. I guess he didn't. Yeah, I bet that propeller was cutting in his back when it went across. I know a guy that got run over by a boat, and he had like 3 gashes across his back where the propeller had cut him whenever it went across him. It just happened it was spaced out to where it missed his backbone when it went across his back. And the marine fuel is even more. Wow. I talked to someone that owns a gas station, and he told me that the gas tomorrow is going to cost him $4.38 a gallon. Man, I don't know if it's good. If it gets to $5, I don't know if it's going to stop there or not. Just don't know. I hate to even cut my grass out there. Get gas to put in the lawnmower. That gives me a good excuse not to cut my grass but so much. I can take more time to go fishing. Wifey says anything, I say, hey, I can't be cutting grass too much. I got to start spacing it out more because gas is so high. I use that for excuse to get in the river more. Rebirth asks how much it is in Georgia. There you go. Yeah, I got a plan now. Gas shortage helped me to get out and fish a little bit more. Metro Atlanta is already over $5. Wow. I tell you, it's something now. That excuse won't work too good unless you are paddling. I tell I'm use electric motor. Till I ain't got no gas in the big motor, I'm gonna have to use the electric motor. The birds, the river too high to go fishing here. It was starting to get down some up here where we at. That's why I was fishing with the beetle spin the other day. We'd had some warm weather and the river up here was starting to drop down to where it was getting to where the fishing was getting ready to be good. But we've got all this rain coming in now. I don't know how much rain we could get. We supposed to got a lot today, but it didn't rain like that weatherman was claiming. So we kind of missed some of it today. But now tomorrow they got the percentage up to 90% for tomorrow. They had it at 70 today, but tomorrow is at 90%. And which we need some rain, especially to keep this pollen down. And it was getting to be we hadn't had no rain about a month here. It was getting where it was a fire hazard around here. You had to be careful. Going fishing gets you away from the crazy stuff going on. Yeah, you get down in the river, you can get away from all the hassle and hustle of what all's going on around here and all that. Cassidy Brown be a cold front this weekend, ain't it? Yeah, we got some cold weather coming in for the weekend. One time they was saying 28 or 29, and I think last time I seen the weather, they said maybe around 31. Which if it's 31 in Charleston, it usually be around 27, 28 here. We always like 4 or 5 degrees colder than what the Charleston weather calls for. A lot of time we watch Channel 5 around here, weather. And they out of Charleston. 2 hands, yeah, get your mind off, man. Yeah. 2 hands. We had 80% today. Got a half inch. Yeah, I think they got a lot more rain upstate there today because they were showing that most of the rain was going around and going up next Columbia from around the area where I'm at. I'm closer to the coast, and they were showing the rain, much more rain up that way on radar. So it must have kind of went around us today, but they showing some of the bands tomorrow. They expecting to come across us here. And Danny Altman, what pound test are you using on your Rover reel? On the Rover, I got 40-pound mono on it. The Berkeley Big Game. I got 40 pound on head and on the PC fun. I got 40-pound mono on it also. It didn't rain here, but 5 minutes today in West Columbia. Turkey hunting right around the corner. Yeah, it won't be long. I'm not sure what day. I got to look on my tags and see what day it starts on here in our region. But Mark, see, I thought that the way they were showing on the radar, I thought a lot of rain had went up near Columbia up there, but it may what they call it dissipated before it got to y'all too. I think a lot of us, they said the radar was showing it, but a lot of it, the radar was showing wrong. Calling for 25 degrees here in Santee Sunday morning. Yeah, I figure it should be 31 around Charleston, I figure it'd be 27, 28 here, 25, something like that. We always quoted them what they are. Cy Jones, hello, Mr. Kaufman. Sorry, I'm just tuning in on your live chat. Yeah, hello, Mr. Jones. Yeah, glad to see you come in, man. You always commenting and giving some good comments and stuff on the videos and stuff. I always enjoy reading your comments and stuff on there. Yeah, Mark C must have just 5 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, my weatherman around here, he's always lying to me. I go down there fishing. He'll tell me it could be 70 degrees. I go down there with a light jacket on and I'll almost freeze. I go down there and he'll tell me it's not gonna rain. 20% chance of rain. I'll almost get drowned. And I don't know. My weatherman be's all mixed up sometimes. I think my weatherman loves to lie to me. Laugh at me when I go down there in the river. Our river level is at 7 foot. Will be 12 foot by Sunday prediction, depending on how much more we get. Yeah, we get much here to rise. I'm not sure the foot level, but I know it'll rise. I might have to go back to fishing the Tidewater for a while on the bottom or something. We'll get something going though. If we get too much though, it'll muddy the river up. We may have to wait a few days for the muddiness to clear up out of it, but we'll have something going on. Benjamin Johnson, them some big slabs. Keep up the good fishing. Yeah, Mr. Johnson, them was some slab crappie that I caught a couple of days ago, man. I mean, some nice big slab crappie. And a couple of them brim, the old pound brim, but a couple of them were real big too. I want to say, man, I'm waiting on them fish to get up good on the top. Pull out the popper on the brim buster or the cricket, or use the beetle spin, all kind of different ways you can fish then. The 2 hands working. Coldest I ever been fishing was in July. The 2 hands me and one of my buddies, we went down there one night throwing the popper in July. We almost froze to death on the 4th of July. It turned cold on the 4th of July down in that river. It was down in the, I think it got down in the 50s. And on July the 4th, me and him like to froze. It was nighttime and we down there, all of a sudden the temperature started dropping. I happened to have a jacket, a long sleeve shirt in my boat under the boat seat. I found it and put on. He ain't had nothing to put on. He said the coldest that he'd ever seen it getting. He was 70 some years old. But I'd fish on one side of the river, he'd fish on the other, and that way we could talk back and forth to each other at nighttime while we was throwing the poppers at night by that moon. He said that's the coldest he ever seen it get in July. Buddy went to the stump hole last Sunday. Said they ain't on the bed yet. They ain't gonna be long there. Yeah, some of them I caught. They had the eggs on them, so they getting ready for it. Mr. Johnson Jr. could catch 1 pound brim in a mud hole. I'd try if I knowed he was in there. Yes, sir. Been catching some nice ones here in North Carolina, waiting on them big copper nose. Yeah, that's what I've been waiting on. They starting here, but this weather, like I say, we just have to check them out after it goes by. Going back and forth to town here, I have to go across the Black River Bridge, and I always look over at the banks there, and I can usually tell by looking at the bank how low it needs to be down there for the fish to be biting or down low enough to catch them. But that Tidewater now, if you're fishing on the bottom, them deep holes, you can go down. I can go down there with the water in the woods as long as it ain't muddy. Catch smallmouth and stuff on that bottom. Old popper is so much fun. Yeah, I like, especially on that brim buster here, that line whistle. If you're throwing that popper at night, you don't never know what you could catch. I caught a 4-pound bass on that small popper at night fishing for brim. You hear that brim buster cracking, just know that it will break into. If they didn't pop the line, the brim buster would be cracking. I'd wrestle some of them down, and some things I've had to leave there and never turn it. The line would pop. Even the hook on that popper would break. It'd break the hook off the popper. Mark, see, gas here is 409. Yes, it's high. I'm telling you, man. They have to do something sometime or another with this gas. They got to figure something out. People ain't going to be able to afford it. It costs so much to go back and forth to work or go anywhere. Pay more at the grocery stores. Glenn Webster, what is the name of the lever that holds the motor up when you go in fishing? On your release it lever to save the motor and you hit a stump. Mine broke and I can't find one. Oh, I know. I believe I know the lever you're talking about. Mine, when I jack the motor up, I got a lever that I can pull down, and then but mine's got the tip and trim on it. When I let it down, that pin will help hold it up. But the older motors that we used to have that didn't have tip and trim, we had a lock brace. I can't remember what it's called though. We always called it a lock brace or something. We could lock it in and it keep the motor held up if we. The one I got now got the tip and trim on it. I jack it up. There's just a little pin up there that I can pull around, let the motor back down there. It just takes the pressure off the tilt holding the motor up, holding the pressure on it. I've been watching some bass fishing with jigging poles. Look like it would be fun at night. Yeah, the guy that showed me how to fish the popper at night, that's what he showed me to start with. He showed me how to make the bucktail jigs. You could take the deer, cut the white hair off the deer's tail, and take a hook and your sewing thread and sit there and wind it and tie that deer hair to that hook. But you got to wind it a lot of times. I still got some of them in my tackle box that I sit down and made homemade bucktails. And well, we was using like 40-pound gnawline line and run it off the end of that jigger pole, give 14-foot jigger, 14 or 15-foot, 16-foot jigger pole. I like a 14-foot. That 16-foot getting real heavy. And you can shake that bucktail at night, catch nice bass and stuff at nighttime. That moon up. But what we would do, we'd put a trailer hook on that bucktail also, and then we cut a piece of butts meat and cut it slim and like a white worm or something. But we put the hook halfway, then when you move it on that water, that it looked like legs behind that bucktail. It looked like something swimming when you'd move it. We caught some nice bass that way, but he learned that when he was young, and like I say, he's up there near 80 years old now. I live between Stumphole and Poplar Creek. Shell crackers starting to bite pretty good. Love catching those monsters. Yeah, them shell crackers, man, they can pull. They make you think they're mudfish sometimes. You get old big 2-pound shell cracker on there, or a 1.5-pound shell cracker. Things pull like a mudfish. You need to do a video on that, Junior. Yeah, it's just hard. I did a couple on throwing the popper at night, but it's hard because I ain't got the lighting to be able to where you can see a lot. A lot of time I turn the light on after I get to fish in the boat, and it's hard to see what I'm doing or anything. But I got a couple of videos on it, but they from about a year ago. But it's hard for. But I'll get some lighting hooked up on there sometime or another and show the popper fishing at night. I need to go out and also with the bucktail, show how to shake that bucktail jig at night. But yeah, the old guy, he's about 78 years old now, but he showed me, I don't know, probably 30 years ago, how to make the homemade bucktail jigs without the lid on it. That way you can float it around on the top and move it back and forth. Just keep shaking it and stopping it. And it'll go back and forth like a big bug or something on top of that water. And bass can't stand it at night, and that moon shining down on that white air. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of him for a while. Enjoyed chatting with y'all and talking with y'all and everything. And just wanted to check in. And I was wanting to keep trying to do some of these lives. But then enjoyed chatting with y'all and everything. And hope everybody's doing good. And Mr. Rose has always scared me to death when a big old fish hit that jigger at night. Yeah, some of them will suck that thing right up under the water. And some of them will bust that water, and especially if you ain't had a bite in a while and you half asleep or something and you shaking that jig and ain't paying, and he busts that water. And I'm always looking for gators too while I'm fishing at night, because them great gators are cruising up and down the bank. I've had them swim up next to the end of the boat. You can go down in the daytime and not see any gators, but nighttime gets there, you shine that flashlight, you see them red eyes cruising up and down the banks of that river. Take care, man. Yeah, Mr. Cleveland. Enjoyed y'all coming in. Thanks for moderating. Local Life. Yeah, y'all have a good night too. Benjamin, have a good night. Back on the river, laughs out loud. Yeah, catch y'all later. Catch you the next time, you two. Hope you enjoyed.